and other show. It just made everything else better. It made the whole universe storyline better, I thought.
Can I throw a wrench in a little bit? We're about
No.
halfway through, so I want to throw a little wrench in.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
To
You
be that
it.
guy before we get back onto, because all I want to do is kiss and hug this series, but I want to do.
Don't say one bad thing, Steve. We're gonna try to cancel you again.
No, say it. I want to know.
The one thing I want to do this. Okay, one thing.
You do it.
So
what is it?
The sad episode, the Sith Lord episode, right? Fighting Yaddle, she tried everything to save him, blah blah blah. So they're in this fight. He knocks her into this doorway thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then he uses the Force, pulls down the door, crushes her. I'm like, ooh, Lucasfilm, look at you being all like telling us to shut up about the Bad Batch and nothing ever happening to anybody. Good for you. And then 5 seconds later, the big and I thought, because then she comes out, forcing the door off her. She wasn't crushed by it. She rolls out, says one more thing, and gets killed by him anyways. I thought it was less impactful or shocking.
No,
for that to happen. I think they wanted to give her. I think they wanted to give her this kind of like epic going out instead of just being crushed, which I thought was like, oh, okay, that's literally what I said. I was like, oh, okay,
it had nothing to do with her showing how much Sidious is in controlling Dooku. Because what's worse, him crushing her with using the Force pull, or him having to go physically and chop off her head with a lightsaber?
But he was still fighting her. He still fought her. He didn't go, I can't do it. I can't do it. He fought her hard.
She's suffering. She wasn't even fighting back, and he went and sliced her head off. Like that's a mental. It's not had nothing to do with her. Her coming out was just to show how much Dooku was lost and what Palpatine do. That's like he was laughing. He loved it. It just showed how menacing he was and how much of a puppet master he was over Dooku.
It's the whole double death thing. I thought was like,
no, we needed that part too, because that is a direct like narrative mirror to Anakin's fall too. Do you remember the fight with Anakin? And then he's on the fence. He's, what do I do? And then Mace Windu's like ready to go, and then chops off his arm, boom, and then Anakin's like, what have I done? It's Rise. It was the exact same, right? He's still kind of, and then he goes up to her. What does Palpatine say? Do it. And then it's Rise. So I thought it was a perfect narrative mirror of Anakin's fall, Dooku's fall. It had to happen so we can see the puppet master pull the strings.
He already did that when she showed up. And mostly the two of them were having the conversation. Like, she's like, you can't be this way, and let's, join me, and we'll take out this bad guy and stuff. And he's thinking about it, and then he's like, do it, or whatever he said. Like, remember you told me this and this and that? So he was doing that, just like he was telling Anakin to cut Dooku's head off, or when he was like, when he stopped Mace and all this other kind of stuff. Go kill the kids. It was all the same thing. And then he was fighting. He could have stopped at any time, but he was fighting, and she was still trying to convince him to not fight and kill her. And then he gets the upper hand and then crushes her. And I thought it was shocking for a Disney show.
Crushing was nothing compared to cutting her head off, dude. Like, crushing's nothing. It's off camera.
Okay. What I'm saying is What I'm saying is pick one or the other. Like he could have got the best of her, and she could have been like tired. Like he could have been force choking her and then cut her head off. But I thought the door crushing was sort of comical for a death, because I was literally saying, "Oh, this is how they're doing it." It was kind of funny and shocking to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, he's really fallen now." So they could have at least done it one or the other, not both. I thought both made it kind of funny to me. Sorry, the first.
Well, you're not saying. I disagree. I thought her coming back again. I was surprised she came back, but to me, it made it more savage. The fact that he still meant you go take care of her, and he walked over, lit the lightsaber, and then shot. Like, that just makes it so much worse. like as an event, and just how Dooku's now like Adam said, do it, your rise, the whole thing. He's mine. Sidious owns Dooku now. That's the pivotal. That's a breaking point. That's a turning point where and just like you could see when Dooku's walking to do it, his face, it was torturous for him. And I just thought that was a huge character shift, and that just really made the whole entire scene so much more disastrous for that character.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Todd there. I think these 3 episodes, I think the crush is necessary, 100%. But I definitely have to give Filoni just more credit, like we talked about. I mean, Christopher Lee introduced the character, absolutely phenomenal, right? You don't get backstory, but still, anything Christopher Lee does is phenomenal. But
hey, don't get me wrong. This doesn't even take a fraction of a mark away for me. It's like I just thought that scene was a little weird, but it's still, for me, it's like 100% for the series. It's just like,
yes,
man, it's like one of those